The experiment that we are interested in today is to find the moment of inertia of the flywheel. So let's look at the apparatus. Here we have a very heavy circular wheel which has the axle attached to it, and when this wheel will rotate, the axle will rotate, and this axle is connected to a digital meter here. So you can see when the flywheel is rotating, it will give you the reading for every one turn of rotation as the rotation keeps going. Okay, and so on the other side you have a string which is attached to the axle with this peg, and on the other end of the string is a circular hole so that you can attach weights to it. So additionally, you will require two things. You will require a vernier caliper to measure the diameter of the axle, and from that you can find the radius. And secondly, you need a stopwatch to do the measurements. Okay, to perform this experiment, what you want to do is you want to wind the string anti-clockwise on this axle. And once you do that, you want to ensure that the string, they are not on top of each other, so that there is very less friction. Okay, and if you notice here, there is a mark that is already done, so that you know from where you're dropping your mass every time. Okay, and once you have the mass attached and you have the string wound anti-clockwise on your axle, and so right now we have about 10 turns of the string, what we want to do is we want to zero our meter. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so now we have done that, and then what we are going to do is we are going to drop the mass, and once we do that, there is some potential energy in this mass which is going to get converted into the kinetic energy of the flywheel, and some of it is going to get converted into the kinetic energy of the mass, and the rest is going to be lost as the frictional loss due to the winding on the axle. Okay, so we want to get our timer ready, and once we have that, we can let go of the mass. So as soon as the weights drop, we are going to start the timer right there, and the reading that we had was about 12. So you can see as the flywheel is rotating, you can get the reading for your number of turns, which will be 28 minus 12, and that is basically 16 turns of your flywheel. So the formula that we are going to use to calculate the moment of inertia is like such here. I is the moment of inertia, and n is the number of rotations of the flywheel that it performed before it stopped, and that number for us was 16. And small m is the mass that was hanging from the thread, and the small n is the number of windings of the string on the axle. Okay, so the number of windings, which was 10. Okay, and g is, we know, is the acceleration due to gravity in this formula. H is the height of the drop of the weights, and that was calculated to be 68.5 centimeters. Okay, so the only term left is r, and to calculate r, what we need is we need the vernier caliper, and that will give us the diameter of this axle, and then if you divide it by 2, you will get the radius of the axle. Okay, and in a while I'll show you how to get the value for omega as well. Let's look at the data that we get. The mean diameter that we found from using the vernier caliper was 1.978. So like I mentioned, you can divide it by 2 and get the radius of the axle. And we have performed the experiments for different mass that was hanging. So you have to add the weight of the hanger plus the additional weights. So those are mentioned here, and the height of the drop was kept the same every time. And if you would like, you can perform this experiment again with different heights, and that should give you much more data and better result in the end. And so every time we wound the strings up to 10 turns on the axle. So here you can see the rotation of the wheel, that is capital N value that we have for each of the runs. So we performed the run twice, and so we take the average value of the rotation of the wheel. Similarly, the time that was taken for the rotations to happen. So we will have two values, and then we can take the average. So that will give you a better result. And then the final thing that you calculate is the omega, which is the angular component here, which is just 4 pi times the capital N divided by the time, and so that can be calculated in Excel as well. And if you plug it everything in the formula to calculate the value for I, which is mentioned here in the top, uh, again I had shown the formula earlier, you will get the value for the moment of inertia. And as you can see, we have very good consistent answer, and the average value that we get is 0.02 kilogram per meter square.